Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement. Hello again, and welcome to the program, Agriculture on the Move. My name is Philip Sidney, your host. Somewhere in 1982, the government and people of Taiwan have been assisting the government and people of St. Lucia via the Ministry of Agriculture in so many ways. They have contributed meaningfully to the agricultural sector in St. Lucia. But then they have also assisted other areas in other ministries, but I'm going to stick with agriculture. Today with me in studio, because we need to have a discussion on the many activities that they have contributed to St. Lucia and the St. Lucian farmer. And to my immediate left is Mr. Daniel Lee, who is the Chief Taiwan Technical Mission in St. Lucia. Next to him is Mr. Eric Chen, who is the production specialist on that team, and of course our own Adeline Udovic, who is the project coordinator of what is known as the 7 Crop Project. Good afternoon or good day to gentlemen and lady. I put her at the end because I put her in the center will be a fun between two roses. Adeline, give us an overview of where we are today. I know we began with the 7 Crop Project, and then there was the first phase, and we are now at the second phase.
Yes.
Okay, give us the linkage between the first phase and the second phase.
Okay. So good afternoon again. The first phase began in 2019. For the first phase, we were very excited, and we had lots of different engagements. But our main goal for the first phase was to reduce the food import bill of the crops that we were looking at. At the time, we identified 7 crops. And these crops, together, the importation was extremely high. And we realized that these crops could have been produced down here to impact the food import bill, as I said, right? So coming out of the first phase, we had many different activities. And as you know, that it was very successful. But we realized that we did have some shortcomings out of the discussions we had with our farmers, with our stakeholders, and so on. So we included in the second phase, which is what we are in right now, we are actually halfway through the second phase as we speak. So for the second phase, we included some new areas, some very exciting areas, and it's the areas are very well received. We're looking at incorporation of small machinery, right, for land preparation. We're looking at irrigation. We continue with much of the activities for the first phase, but we're incorporating these activities I'm mentioning now. And also we included the next area that was very needed, which was agro-processing. And this will help automatically with all the spoilage we're having, with the shelf life of our products, and also the uptake of our products that we're looking at. So as I said, we are in the middle of the second phase, and as we go along, I could explain to you what the activities that we are undertaking under the second phase. Okay.
Mr. Lee, you coming into the second phase, what gave your team reasons for going into the second phase of the project?
The second phase continues with the first phase because of the very higher and higher demand of the consumption and the success of the first phase. So actually the first phase project so-called 7 Crop Project. And the second phase we extend to more than 7 crops, up to 30 to 40, all vegetables and some fruits in St. Lucia. Our goal is to maximize the domestic production and consumption to cope the goal of the 25 by 25. So we believe the second phase will be continuously support the St. Lucia agriculture development.
Are you satisfied so far? You are into the 2.5 years of the second phase, right?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied so far of what's happening?
Yeah, so far we are quite satisfied, but it's not the end. It's just halfway through the second phase project. So far, actually for the second phase, the first year for second year is the first stage. So we define all the activity and the methodology, and then we work every day with the farmer, with the Ministry of Agriculture, and now we can see the result, outcome, and production increase day by day. So far, I will say it's good, but it can be better.
Definitely, I understand that. Eric, you are the production specialist, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're also involved in looking at varietal trials and stuff. Okay, tell us about that in terms of what are the crops and varieties are you looking at, and why are you the objective of those trials?
Okay. So as Adeline mentioned, that there are 7 crops in St. Lucia. They were highly imported from overseas. And in the first place, we actually targeted at these 7 crops, which are watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, pineapple, sweet peppers, tomatoes, and lettuce, cabbage.
Cabbage, yes.
So we try to do some varietal trial, because if in a market if you don't have enough varieties in the market, the consumers doesn't have too many choices. And not just that, in productions, if you have just one varieties, maybe it would not have maybe it doesn't have good resistance to disease and weather conditions.
That's right.
So you have to add up on different varieties, so the farmers can have more choices, and then you can have more domestic production. That's the main reason why we want to do the varietal trials.
Okay.
But doing varietal trial is critical, but we are not just doing it. We also, after 3 times a year of the trials, we also give away our seeds to the farmers. If we find this variety is good to St. Lucia. Yeah.
So you all do trials on the farmers' farms, or you'll do it at the station?
We have a demonstration farm, but we also do the trials on farmers' farms. So all farmers, as long as farmers are interested in cooperating with us, they can go to their extension officers, and then we can have a discussion. I will have a visit to the farm to see if it's if it's in good condition, then we can have some particular crops trials there on their farm. So I would say it's like 70% is done in our station, since we can control it better, but we are also welcome the farmers to do the trials on their farm.
Now that takes me to the next point of the farmer field school. Does that tie in with that too?
Oh yeah. So sometimes it's held on our farm, the demonstration farm, which is located in Union. But there are some farmers saying that, oh, it's always in the north. So actually, a lot of our farmers that have a demonstration plot is from the south.
Okay.
Micoud, Vieux-Fort, Soufrière, and then it depends on how the crops going. I mean, if they grow well, if it's good enough to be able to perform a field school, and then we would decide, okay, these farmers, we can have this field school on your farm, so it can benefit the farmers around the neighborhood.
Okay, well, take us through the school, the field school, in terms of, so people can understand how it's done.
Okay, so firstly, I would choose some varieties,
Right.
and then to compare with the stream varieties in St. Lucia. Let's take tomato, for example. There are Heatmaster in St. Lucia, there are Simba in St. Lucia, but apparently only Simba has a good resistance to virus,
Right.
and to heat good. It's good to heat resistance, but Heatmaster doesn't really have these resistance. So, but which means farmers only have one choice, which is Simba.
True.
And it's very, I would say, dangerous for the environment, because the disease can grow very easily as long as they find I would say, loophole on this variety,
Correct.
so they can grow faster. That's why we trying to bring more varieties.
Resistant varieties.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
resistance, and then we will have to compare with the stream variety, because it doesn't make any sense if we are bringing like a worse variety. So we have to compare among between the varieties that we bring in and the mainstream varieties to see which is better. And usually we will find the farmer, we will work with the farmers who is specialized in tomato. So the farmers knows how to take good care of them, and then we will give instructions to the farmers. In the same time, we will be listening to their experiences in St. Lucia, because they know the weather better than us. So then we will set up a demonstration plot on their farm. And then in the meantime, if there is any request from the ministry, or we think it's a successful plot, we will conduct a field school.
Okay,
That's
great,
right.
great, great, great. Very good. What has been very, very popular after all those varieties have been tested and tried and they are marketable, then you'll have, of course, your farmers market. Tell us about the farmers market.
Well, the farmers market is an area that we are extremely proud of under the project. You see, the farmers market, we in the first phase we had farmers market monthly, and after the monthly farmers market, we got little groups coming up in a very organic way, coming together and having their own farmers market outside of us.
Very good.
And then we have seen an uptick of farmers market everywhere. We have a different farmers market, and that's something that we could say we could attribute that to the project's initial farmers market and the success of it. So with that being said, we have a very exciting farmers market coming up very shortly.
A very, very, very,
Very
good.
excited one. So that one that we're going to have very shortly is going to be held this Friday. That will be the last day of the month, right? At Constitution Park. So that farmers market will showcase, we'll make it a little different to the usual farmers market. Originally, what we'll have is like the agro-processors, the primary producers, and everybody else coming in, right? But this time we'll have an expo of the project's achievements so far. So you get an opportunity to interact with us, you get an opportunity to interact with our farmers, with our agro-processors, and you also meet and see the different hoop greenhouses we've had, the different inputs we've had. The inputs are subsidized, right? So you get to see what we have, all the different outputs we have on the project so far. So that farmers market, it is called Agri Expo 2024. Leading the agricultural revolution, because we see ourselves as very instrumental to the different changes that's happening in agriculture right now, and we really are excited about that farmers market, as well as all of our farmers markets so far. But this one is, we're really looking forward to that one.
I want to expound on it a little more, but we're due for a break.
Okay.
So you're watching Agriculture on the Move. Stay tuned. We'll be back very soon.
What's in the food you're eating? Do you really even know? All the chemicals and hormones used to accelerate their growth. All the artificial flavoring, sweeteners and colors too. We consume and we don't spare a thought for the damage that they'll do. No, think about the children. Think about the children. How will we save them? Chemicals and GMOs are not the solution. Use organic and join.
Excessive agrochemical use, additives, and genetically modified foods are harmful to health and the environment. Join the good food revolution. Grow, buy, and consume organic. A message from Rise St. Lucia and the Ministry of Sustainable Development with funding from the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP.
The good food revolution.
Welcome back to the program, Agriculture on the Move. Of course, we are discussing the Taiwanese input into our agricultural sector in St. Lucia, and they have done quite a lot. I really want to say thank you to our President Ambassador, because he has worked feverishly in ensuring a lot of these projects, has come to fruition, and we are seeing results. So I really want to say thank you to you, and of course, Ambassador, through the Ambassador to you, that the amount of work that you're, or funding that you'll have done in that sector is tremendous. And we don't know how to compensate you in return, but to do our output from the farmer has to be looked at, and that's what we're seeing now. The expo that's coming on, but I want you to tell us about some of the activities that you'll have done. For example, I know we got some tillers, right? Tell us about that and what is it used for with the farmers under the 7-crop project.
Yeah, so the activity of the 7-crop project, the second phase, we are targeting solving the issues of the challenges. For example, the labor deficit. Land preparation is always the most difficult part of the farming. So the project imports some very efficient small machine and tillers, and we train the operator of the ministry, and we form a team to do the land preparation for the farmer. So if the farmer want to build up a farm, they can contact the contact 7-crop team or through the extension officer. So the team will go to the place and do the land preparation through the tiller for make things easier.
Okay. Now tell us about your input sales, because I think that has become very popular. A lot of people go there because they get it at a fairly cheap rate. So tell us about that.
The input sale, the idea is not only to cause the farmers' production costs down, but also introduce the Taiwanese agriculture technology. For example, the hoop greenhouse. Actually, hoop greenhouse in Taiwan is for keep the heat in the winter time, but in St. Lucia, the heavy rainfall, the hurricane destroy everything. So our excellent team create this hoop greenhouse in St. Lucia to protect the cantaloupe, watermelon. So, but this input is very difficult to be found in the Caribbean. So we provide the input sale to sell the hoop greenhouse like the plastic, like the frame. And besides, the input sale provide the pin moss, provide the seedling trays and the fertilizer. Try to facilitate the farming and help the farmer to reduce the cost, to increase the incentive for farming.
Oh, very, very, very good. And that will continue. That's something that will continue?
Yes. It's an ongoing part of the project. Okay.
Let's go back to our new farmers market, as you call it. On that, so that will be on Friday, all right, which is the 31st of this month, and it's going to be held at the Constitution Park in Castries.
Yes.
And it starts from what? From 9:30.
9:30 until 5 p.m.
So 5 p.m. What is expected on that day, that you can woo St. Lucians to come to that and view?
Well, I think French have to come and view for themselves, but then let me give you a sneak peek as to what to expect on that day. You will see, as Daniel just mentioned, you will see a model of the hoop greenhouse on display. That's number one. You will see our different partners, our different stakeholders, right? So we're going to have the different agencies that work very closely with us. You will see a different outputs of the project, as I said earlier. So apart from the hoop greenhouse, apart from the inputs, you will see what we're doing also an area that is very low key, but very important. That's the marketing component of the project. We don't hear much about marketing, but it's happening all the time simultaneously with the production. We have our marketing arm of the project. So you get to see what we're doing when it comes to marketing. We're talking about the different interventions we've had for the QR codes at the supermarkets for agro-processors. Right. We're helping the agro-processors right now in terms of building their capacity for increased production, right? So we're helping working closely with our agro-processors to see how they could package better, right? We're helping them with that. We're helping them with even the labeling of their products so that they could penetrate new markets, right? And also be at a standard that is on par with those that are imported. So that's the next area you get to see about. And you also get to meet our farmers who have gotten assistance from us for primary production. They'll have that on sale as well. So you have that part of it, and you also have the different the popsicles, the different local products that you're going to get. Byproducts, yes. So that farmers market, the difference will be us, what we have on display,
The achievements,
the achievements of yes, 2.5
second
years.
phase.
That's right. And also, as I said, our different stakeholders coming on board with us.
Great.
Yeah.
I know you'll have done some work with the supermarkets. Give us an insight into that.
Okay, but I was giving us, okay, so the supermarkets, what we've done so far, we've helped them a lot in terms of their HACCP standards, right? Keeping up, training the staff. We also noticed that there was a lot of spoilage when it comes to the containers, right? When they were shipping, the shipment coming into St. Lucia. That was a key concern to us, and also handling of the local produce obtained from down here. So we give them different instructions and different management practices that they could practice in handling of the containers and storage of the fruit and vegetables we have grown down here. All right? So that will extend the shelf life. That's an area that was very important because we had lots of spoilage, right, in that area. A next area that we're looking into with them is, as I mentioned, the QR codes, where you could have traceability of what's the different happenings, the different management practices that's happening under each product, right? And you could know, you could build your confidence in what you're buying because you will know that this comes from this farmer, and this farmer is approved by the ministry, this farmer is certified, this farmer has been trained, so you could see for yourself that what we're doing is quite something that is quite visible to you, and then you have the confidence in whatever that you're eating, because we have lots of concerns for pesticide residue level and so on, and that's the next area that we are doing in the marketing as well, where we do periodic testing to see if they have any residue on the products.
Do you all have the capacity to do that?
Yes, we have the capacity, and we're working closely with research department of the ministry, that's at NADAF, where we will increase the capacity for that kind of testing. But we have the marketing specialist who does it periodically with the different outlets like Marketing Board. He does that as well.
How is that collaboration with the Extension and Advisory Services Division in our ministry? Are you working hand in glove?
That's a difficult question because I know that Extension is very integral to that project, right? But they are so stretched. They have many different projects in the ministry right now that are calling on the same extension officers to be present for them and to deliver the different projects. But whenever we need the assistance, we know who to go to. So we do have a very close relationship with Extension, which, like anything else, can be bettered, you know?
Because the reason why I'm asking that question, because yes, a lot of the preparation, your experiments are being done, but then we need to get feedback from the farmers, from the field, as far as what's on ground at any one time. In other words, if I ask you how many acres of cabbage you have on ground to date, you may or may not be able to tell me. So this is that kind of information that we need.
Well, we have put things in place on the project side when it comes to the iFarm app, so that we could get that kind of information.
So what is happening with that iFarm app?
The app is there. We have done all the trainings with the extension officers and with the different requisite persons to use that app. But we need maybe to take a different approach so that we could populate the app in a more reliable way. You see, we must know the information that's coming in is reliable data, where the ministry could forecast what's coming in, and that could help determine what is going to be imported or not, you know? So in that instance, I think that maybe we should take a different approach where we should encourage farmers now to go to the extension officers to say, extension officer, I have just planted half an acre of tomatoes. I need you to record that. I need it to be, the ministry needs to know. I know the ministry needs to know because it will affect me in the end, you know? So maybe if we take that approach, maybe we'll see a different result. But we do have some extension officers who are populating, but not enough. Because we cannot have partial information when it comes to forecasting and monitoring and so on. We need to have as many persons on board as possible so that we can make accurate predictions as to what's on the ground.
Right. Because you see, I'm happy to hear about the input sales. I know the farmers are happy to reduce on the cost of production. But at the end of the day, where is that information connecting with the production on the field?
Right.
We need to know, for example, how many acres. A guy comes in, he buys fertilizers, he buys chemicals, whatever it is. But do you know what acreage he has in purchasing the inputs?
That's exactly why we did the app, you know. That's exactly because we saw that was a need.
Exactly.
But we must have more buy-in for everybody to come in and buy. So that
So what's the problem now with the app?
initially we didn't have all the crops on the app. Right now we have extended it to, I think we've added 30 something more. So right now we're over 40 crops on that app, right? So I'm talking about the main crops we're looking at on this app. I think that maybe at the time when it just came out, because of that, I don't know why. I cannot say I know all the answers, but I know that we need to go back and to revisit maybe in a very close and understand why that app is not being used and why it's not being used the way we expected it to be used.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
but it has so much potential.
I know. I mean, that's a good way of monitoring what's
That's
on
exactly,
ground.
yeah.
Your production scheduling.
That's right,
Okay,
that's
and
right.
also to know you have planted cabbage today. You expect to repeat in 2 months' time, in 3 months' time, and what's the production? That is how you link, and then that is linked to marketing. So I'm hoping that again is marketing board on board with you all in terms of your project.
Marketing, we work very closely with marketing board on this project, very, very closely, and so much so that even if the new store that they have, we assist them with all the different packaging, the environmentally friendly packaging. We assist them in so many different ways. We have lots of intervention in marketing board. We work very closely with them.
So Eric, what other crops now are you hoping to do your experiment on moving forward?
Actually, come to the
Expo.
Agriculture Expo on Friday. There will be around 30-something varieties being presented that day. Yeah, including sponge gourd, watermelon, cantaloupe, eggplant, cucumber, lettuce, and so many other, I would say a lot of crops that have never been seen here in St. Lucia. So I would really encourage the public to come and join us on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. Lee, moving forward, you're halfway into your second phase of the phase of the program. What's next for us? I'm hoping to move on to the third phase.
Yeah, so actually for the Taiwan Technical Mission, so we implement all the projects depends on the requirement of the St. Lucia government. Yeah, so far we have quite a various portfolio of the project. For example, agriculture project, salmon crop project. We have youth and women economic empowerment project.
Yes, the mushroom.
That's right.
Yes.
And ICT project and community business revitalization project, Mandarin courses, and the public health center, public health project. So foreseeing in the future when the second phase terminate and wrap up, we would like to seek for the request of the Ministry of Agriculture to see what most important area that we can contribute our techniques and experience to develop the agriculture industry in St. Lucia.
Very good, very good. Well, Adeline, finally, just about half a minute, tell us again what to expect and tell people how they should come to the program on Friday.
In English or Patois?
Nipot Savli.
Well, Friday, I'm inviting all St. Lucians to come down to the Constitution Park. Put some money aside to patronize our farmers and make sure, all right? But you're going to see, as Eric mentioned, all the different varieties that we've been trying out. You're going to have a good time with your family. You're going to have a good time with us. You're going to interact. If the schools could come out, we're going to also have some schools participating. For the schools part, they will be presenting new dishes with the crops that Eric mentioned, all right? So come and help, come and see what's happening. Come and make St. Lucia agriculture great again.
Very good, very good. Well done, well done. Kai boy Eric.
Oui.
Well, thank you for being here, and I'm sure we'll have a successful Friday. Thanks again, Eric.
Thank you.
Lee, thank you. Adeline, thank you. You've been watching Agriculture on the Move. Thank you for viewing the program, and remember, agriculture is our business, and eat fresh. St. Lucia's best. The money stays here, and we get healthier. Goodbye, and see you again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.